Hello, my name is Eddie Tofpik. I'm Head of Technical Analysis and Senior Markets Analyst at ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here is your weekly technical analysis of Kansas City and Minneapolis wheat markets. I'll start with Kansas City wheat. Over the start and middle of April, we have seen the market form a short and acute bull channel. Late last week, prices powered higher, up through the upper bull channel line, currently at 690, and the target, now retired, for the V bottom formed over March to April. Prices this week have moved even higher in the early part, notably punching up through both the next two significant resistances of the big 50% Fibonacci line of the 2011-2019 move at 691 and the 50% absolute Fibonacci line at 697. However, prices petered out after the first 3 days of this week and formed an indecisive doji cross yesterday. The excessive move higher earlier this week formed a 3-day bearish pattern known as a bearish evening doji star, not dissimilar to the bearish evening star formed in Chicago wheat, but more refined and perhaps powerful as well. I spoke last week about a new pattern I had drawn. Thus, and I quote, "I've drawn a bullish Andrews pitchfork for the December 2020 to late March 2021 action. And we have the middle time below, that's currently at 653, and the upper time above, that's currently at 721. This is a preliminary pitchfork and may need some finessing, but we'll see." End of quote. I have not finessed this pattern, but I suspect that though the upper time was breached earlier this week, it is still useful, as there were no closes over it, and I believe that it contributes to capping the market. Since then, we've been indecisive, hanging around the area of the two significant 50% Fibonacci lines mentioned earlier, possibly making a bullish engulfing pattern today, but I'm still not certain on that. I am not certain of what pattern lays next just yet, but I strongly suspect the middle time and the upper times of the bullish Andrews pitchfork will have some role in it. Minneapolis wheat. There are, once again, a number of differences here in this contract compared to the Chicago and the Kansas City contracts. For starters, the August to December 2020 bullish Andrews pitchfork, which even until last week ran the market's bullish angle of attack, is no longer valid and has been retired. Before I look at other differences, let's look at one similarity. This market, much as Chicago and Kansas City, has formed a bearish evening star pattern over the first 3 days of this week. This likewise has been the recent peak of the market. Going back to the differences again now, this market does indeed have a bullish Andrews pitchfork from December last year, like Chicago and Kansas City, but there are two key differences. First is this pattern is from December 2020 until very early April 2021, unlike the late March date in Chicago and Kansas City. This will become very important in a short while. Secondly, unlike the others, the bullish Andrews pitchfork has not been breached. It is still valid, with the market in between the middle time below, currently at 715, and the upper time above, currently 789. Let's go back to April now, to that piece on the low instead of the March low. This has allowed a unique pattern in the grains in the US and in Europe. It's not anywhere else. Something I've highlighted these past 3 weeks when I've known about it. We are currently on for a monthly key reversal up right now. If we close tonight above 643, which seems very likely, then we'd be on. Now we have many overhead bands of resistance, but the notable one is the August 2017 high at 753. Until today, prices have not closed over it. Now the only fly in the ointment is something I highlighted last week. Look at the whole December 2020 to date action. It looks very much like a bullish measured move higher. And if this is so, then we have just reached the apex of this move. it is still something to ponder. So until an alternative answer presents itself, I suggest the bullish Andrews pitchforks, the upper and middle tine, lead the way for the bullish incentive in this market. Thank you for listening. This weekly broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted with this broadcast. Copyright is Tofpik and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final bit.